Hey everybody, my name's Rhonda from Nelson Soapery. Today we're going to get into a video how you can use any box you like to make a soap box, and that is just so that you can make soap. You don't need a fancy smancy box. You can literally use a shoe box and line it. So let's talk about how to actually line the box. So I'm going to start with one of these bamboo boxes. They're just ones that you get for your bathroom from your local department store for a few dollars. So all we're going to do is start with that, and now we need to measure the box. So here I've got some baking paper. It's just a wax-proof baking paper, and as I'm showing you, you can just see it's just a cheap one. It's nothing special. You can also use butcher's paper that has like that waxed kind of side as well, because you do want it to be waterproof, obviously. So we're going to start by literally grabbing the paper and putting it from the side to the bottom to the other side, because we do need the edges, remember, because we need it to come up and over. And then we're just going to snip it off. And that is the first bit of literally organizing the box. And from here, we're going to do all the folding. It's a bit like origami, but it is not hard. I actually didn't do it for so long because I thought, this is so hard. How can I actually do this? But once you start to understand it, you'll really see that it really isn't hard. So now we're going to fold up the edges. So I'm going to fold the first edge, and that is going to basically make the box. So if you can see the inside of the box, we want to fold both edges up so that it would fit on inside the box. So, you know, pretty close to inside the box, maybe within 1 millimeter, and that's all. So just fold each side roughly about the same. We can snip them off later, but it's not, you know, don't worry too much. And then make sure you make a really nice clean fold, because we want that fold to be really, really clear, because that is going to be the edge of it. And if it's not, if you don't do a really clean fold, what can happen is that's when you get all the rough edges at the end of your soap when you take the soap out later. So now you can see what I've done here. Now let's just pop this into the box. It's nice and easy. We're just going to push it into the box evenly, and this is going to make the bottom of the box. So now the next thing we want to do, once you can see here that it's sitting in, we're just going to get a pair of scissors or something just to kind of like score the line. Don't cut through it, but we want to just make sure that we know exactly where the line is, because when we take it out of here, we're going to fold it, and that will make the rectangle piece that you can see on the bottom of this box. Now this particular way of doing it will actually help if you've got a square box, a rectangle box, anything with straight edges. So it's not going to help for a round one, because that would be a little more tricky. If you're going to make something round, I would honestly say put a bag, a plastic bag inside, and pour straight into the bag, but then you would definitely get wrinkled edges. So this is the neatest way I can think of without having your silicone mold. So now you can see the edges where we've done it. So we're just going to fold over both sides of the edges that we've just scored. So make it nice and neat once again and fold that over. So like I said, we're going to fold all of that over nice and neat. And now the tricky bit is going to come in just a minute, which is really not that tricky. So once you've got your edges, you will see a little triangle in the corner, and that is because we've folded all that over. So I'll show you exactly how to do this, and then all we're going to do is make like a little triangle on the line. So if you watch carefully how I actually grab the edge and fold it within the side, and then basically in the middle of the line we've already made, we want the triangle sort of piece to sit in the middle. So you're going to do that to each side. So obviously to this side I'm going to do one edge and then the other edge, and basically once we do all of this and then we fold it all back over, we'll pop it in the box, and then you can play around with it to try and make sure that it looks super duper good and nice and neat. And if you think, oh no, I've done it a little bit wrong, don't panic. Just go back, undo it and refold it again. There's no problem at all doing it that way. But like I said, this is definitely the best way to just make sure that it's really nice and neat. And can you see now how I'm holding it? It's showing that we've folded it, and now that's going to create the edge. So just fold it all back in again. And once we get to the next bit of doing the other side, we're going to just sit this within the box. And I hope that you sort of look at this and go, that's so easy, because I've seen many people fold it in different ways, and I just thought, oh my goodness, this is so hard. And I think I got the original idea from this from Ali Everyday, and she's also on YouTube. She's an Australian YouTuber and soaper, and she does some really amazing tips like this that are, you know, affordable tips when you're getting started and getting your way along. But obviously, if you're making soap, it means that you have watched the lye videos and you understand the safety of lye, because lye is dangerous if you don't respect it. But we won't talk about that in this video. This video is all about seeing that we're making this. Now, you can see here, I've just gone to put it in the box to see that it fits, and we know 100% it does fit in the box. Now, you can set it in the box like this and then slowly open up the sides, because this will show you what we're going to do. Or you can take it out of the box and then hold each end in your hand, and that's what I prefer to do, because then you can kind of slot it in the box easier. It's harder if you set it in the box like this and then slowly pull the edges out, because sometimes you make a bit of a doozy, and it's not going to fit perfect at the start because we are going to snip the edges. And the reason we're going to snip the edges so that we can fold it over, and then you'd put a bit of sticky tape or a pin. I actually like to use something that I can reuse again. So with mine, I actually use blue tack, and then we're going to just push the edges over later, and then we'll actually pop the blue tack on the side, and it will just hold it all in there until your soap's in there. And then that's it. So, I mean, it's a great way. And the good thing too is it actually keeps your box or container nice and neat and clean. So you can see here how I just held it in my hand and then just popped it inside. So now let's get on to the next bit of neatening it all up, and we will just trim down the sides. So now I've shown you how it's all sitting inside here, and of course, you know, you can see it's too high on the sides, and we do that on purpose so that we can trim the sides. So just do a little snip in each corner, and then we're just going to fold this over, make sure it's nice and neat, and just make sure on the inside that it's flush and straight so that the paper's nice and straight. And then we'll do the other side and exactly the same thing. And like I said, once we fold everything down, then we're going to just get a little bit of blue tack and blue tack it in. If I want to be brutally honest, you know, the best idea, honestly, is if you have a mold with the silicone, because you don't need to do all of this. There is no waste because you're just rinsing out the silicone each time. But if you're starting soap making, or, you know, you can't afford one of those good molds, this is definitely a really good way. It is a cost-effective way, but once again, you know, we're using this paper and throwing it out. You can't reuse it a second time because it will be no good to reuse, which that's a bit of a shame, isn't it? And I do prefer to use something that I can reuse again because it's better and it's more biodegradable, and we're looking after the earth. But, you know, for this video, we're just trying to find a way to use any box that we can. So now you can see how neat it is on the inside. So if you poured your soap in that, you're going to be pretty good. Every now and then you'll see a little wrinkle at the end, but most people cut the ends of their bars off, so you don't need to worry about that. But look how perfect it is. It's looking gorgeous, and we've done it. And now just get a little bit of blue tack, as I've got here, and then we're just going to stick the blue tack on the box and then push it down to the paper, and just do that to every side of the box. Of course, we want the blue tack to be held down, and the reason you want to actually hold this down and not just leave it free flowing is if you pour the soap in and, you know, you make a mistake or anything like that, the paper can move and then it would wrinkle the bar, and then you've got to cut those bits off. So that's why I sort of suggest that it is better to blue tack it down or stick it down, or you can even use a pin at the end to put the pins on the outside of the box. But I just think blue tack is a really good way that you can reuse it. Pins you could reuse, but sticky tape, obviously that is adding more rubbish to the earth and, you know, landfill once again. So if you're using a product like this, you can reuse. It's definitely better. So I hope that it's really helped everybody understand that you can use any box. You can use a sandwich box, a shoe box. I mean, it's just endless. So make sure you give me a massive thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video. Bye, everyone.